Hey, welcome to Lead for Your Strengths. I'm Jenny, and I am joined with Eric, and we are happy to take a closer look, kind of some practical application into different topics. And today, we're going to go right to the what kind of inspired this venture, and that was Clifton Strengths Finder. We both really believe in looking at one's strengths, and whether you do that through your giftedness or
spiritual gift discernment or
the disc profile, the Enneagram, whatever method you use, there is something to be learned, and it gives you some clues about your leadership style.
Definitely.
What you can do, who you need to surround yourself with, what's realistic,
what you can't do,
what you cannot do. All of these things are helpful.
Yeah, sometimes why you shouldn't try to move outside of the zone that you're really
good at. Gosh, so much we talk about how to improve your weaknesses or areas of growth, and I passionately believe in identify your strengths and then focus on those, because you have the opportunity to really just thrive instead of going from bad to mediocre.
Right. And if you ever grab a hold of Clifton Strengths Finder book, that's the Cliff Notes version of it, so to speak.
Yeah.
Is, they when you first take this quiz, if you're to go take it online or whatever you want to do, they tell you, there's a certain amount of skills that we'll assess you for, but we'll only tell you your top 5 or 10, depends on which one of the tests you take. And that's really a base place to start, because the temptation is to go and fix your bottom. But here it's saying work out of the place in which you have already found natural giftedness.
Now, we've both paid for looking at all 34 of our themes. They kind of look at them as themes, because I found it just as helpful to look at my bottom 10 and not even try. Now, most of the time when you are thinking about your strengths and you're working with your team of people, and maybe you'll all sit down with your strengths, they'd be really quite different, and that's probably what you want on a team. Eric and I have done this. I don't know if you're going to add the slide of our strength.
Yeah, we'll make it happen. We'll overlap the two of them.
We have almost the same bottom ones and very similar top strengths.
Yeah, just to give you an insight, if you can't read the graph real good, our bottom two, real well. I'm not polished. I haven't had enough coffee today. But our bottom two are identical, and our number 1 and our number 3 are actually inverted from one another. So it's really amazing.
Also, like in ministry, everyone is all about harmony and restoration and empathy. Those are on the bottom for me. Now, and you, does that mean that the churches we serve don't have harmony, don't care about restoration, don't want deep empathy? Absolutely not.
Right. In fact, I would argue that most of the work that you and I do is restorative work that is helping to reorient the harmony of God's creation.
With deep empathy for our people. The other thing that it requires is that we surround ourselves with people who are naturally gifted and have the natural strength of that. And actually, that makes us more effective leaders, in that we don't think we can do it all.
Right. I know there's certain things that I just should never be doing.
Yes.
Unless the world is desperate. And
exactly. It's kind of a good I can't sing at all. Amen. So it means I am 100% dependent on hiring good musicians, and everyone sort of gets that you would have, of course, the pastor is not supposed to be the music director, worship director. Sometimes it's harder to get. Perhaps you have a pastor who is really good at vision and strategy. That is my wheelhouse. Futuristic, strategic, visionary work. Less good at empathetic, caregiving work. That's okay. It's part of why I've built stuff from scratch and surround myself really, it's kind of nice for me, by the most caring people on earth. It ends up being a benefit to you as a pastor too, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, and you also learn that, if you do have to go outside of your wheelhouse, like the same thing for me, if I have to go do pastoral care and I have to do a lot of, well, this sounds horrible, but it's true. But if I have to go and visit like several people who are sick, or if I'm spending a lot of time intensively in that, I schedule my time so that I can recover from that. It takes me more energy. If I need to go spend some time with people doing some discernment and some visioning work, I come back on fire.
Yeah,
right?
That's true. And I'm sitting here in Eric's church, and I have met all of his staff people. I can tell immediately these are kind people.
Hearts of gold.
I mean, even the man who's mowing the grass greeted me with such kindness. I felt like he was my best friend walking in the door.
Yeah, I think his empathy is like number 2. So
yes. Yeah. So that's an advantage of kind of acknowledging where you need to fill in, and you do.
Right.
And the other thing that I'll tell you is that recently Eric was at a conference where all he got to do was vision, and his energy level was like...
Yeah. Off the charts. If you work from your place of strength, just growing. But yeah, if you get to the opportunity to work out of your strengths, not only do you get to elevate your energy level because you're doing that, but I would also argue that it makes you more friendly around your coworkers.
Yeah.
It makes you more hospitable, and the cohesion that it can help with your team. If you're spending all of your energy and your time trying to work out of your places of weakness, or to only build up your places of weakness,
it's so frustrating.
Yeah,
it's exhausting, and you feel like a failure.
Yeah, you
kind of all the time.
Yeah, you burned all that energy, and you burned all that frustration, and probably didn't get very far, and so you feel like you're spinning your wheels.
The other thing is, if you know the strengths of your staff and your colleagues, then you don't have the expectation that they will be able to do something that they're just not going to do.
That's right. That's right.
Sometimes we have the sense that what's easy for us should be easy for everyone else, and thank goodness that's not true.
Yeah, thank goodness, because then we wouldn't have to partner with people.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have to build these teams that are so valuable to who we are and what we do.
Yes, and we were talking about staffs, and if you're in a place where I don't have a staff, when I started my church, I was half-time at that church. That's it. And it was almost all, some people were unpaid staff, some people were highly committed volunteers, some people were every once in a while volunteers. So that's what I mean also by teams, not simply staff.
Yeah, I would argue that sometimes your staff is your unpaid people. I think a lot of time when we think of staff are your unpaid people sometimes.
Oh, you're saying you can think of your unpaid staff as your...
Right. I think too many of us...
We wanted to clarify that Eric is indeed paying the people who are working for him.
Yes. Got a decent budget, laying it down.
We care about a living wage for our people.
Yes, exactly.
Let's not argue that our staff are unpaid. But you're saying sometimes the unpaid volunteers are more like our staff.
Exactly. In fact, there are a few people that have volunteered and have leadership roles that I still do staff performance evaluations on them.
Really?
I take the time because they own their role so deeply that we want to make sure that we're being mission critical. And we're also, in some regards, doing this so that we can help develop them as leaders, because for them, the pay isn't that they need a financial reward. It's that they need to grow in their leadership development, and they want and desire that. I'm not advocating that to be your model necessarily.
That's something that you've done. Over this past year, I have gotten to, I've gotten to coach several people, and Strengths Finder has been a tool that I've used with all of them. And with one person, we were reflecting on what her board was asking her to do. And then I was looking at her strengths, and it didn't match. And it was no wonder that this person, who is an incredible person, constantly felt like they weren't doing what was needed. And actually, in this situation, decided to kind of shift gears and look for a different way to serve, an entirely different agency. In another case, someone kind of knew what the board was asking of them. We analyzed how that matched with their natural strengths, and then has gone back to the board and said, okay, this, and this, I think I can thrive at. This and this, there's going to be constant tension and frustration because I need someone to help with this. And it clarified those conversations.
Yeah.
So then the board knew these were not people, the different boards, these weren't people just ignoring feedback. There were people deeply reflecting on that. And that was fun. Those were fun coaching conversations.
Yeah, it gives you the opportunity to address the problems or spaces of weakness that you can address.
Yes.
Make changes where you can't. It sets priorities in your working.
Yeah. And like just acknowledge, like if someone said, Jenny, you need to become the worship director, I would fail weekly.
Yeah.
Jenny, you need to set the vision for a congregation to grow. I can thrive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for all of you who are paying attention at home or your office or wherever you're at.
Did you gather the family around the television to watch this?
That's right.
Light a fire.
But for wherever you've gathered to watch this, we hope that you do get some self-discernment, and that out of that place of self-discernment, you get to grow.
Yeah.
And don't be alone in this process.
Yes. Talk to people about it. Email us. We can talk about it more. In fact, we're kind of geeky. Is geeky on here? Like geeky about Strengths Finder?
Yeah, it's a subsection of the strategic line.
Okay. And just a PS, I am also a little geeky about Enneagram. You're supposed to either love one or love the other, but I kind of love both of them.
Yeah.
One kind of, for me, tells me motivation, and the other one tells me the what.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
They all serve a different purpose. And
yeah.
sometimes we do get geeky over just one thing.
Yeah.
But we need all of it. Again, it's a fullness of the
yes.
picture that we have.
And I think leadership is born out of identifying your strengths and leading from those strengths.
Exactly. Well, this has been a great conversation.
Yeah.
Thanks for having it. If you want to have more conversations, find us at leadfromyourstrengths.com, and we'll see you later.